Greetings and salutations, my dear audience. This is Joe, Saint Egg Benedictus, coming at you with a video answering the question, why is it that we like old books? And what makes old books attractive to those of us who collect used books? Well, before I get into it, just want to give a shout out to my pal Mike, to all the visionaries and mystics out there. Thank you for joining me. And of course, you can't really read a good old used book without at least lighting a candle. There we go. Lit. Maybe getting a pipe ready. All right. So now that we're ready and we have the entourage set or the environment set, we can jump into reasons why we like old books. One, the first reason is very simple. Size. I am attracted to old books because, frankly, they're normal sizes, okay? So I found this book, Invitation to the Book of Revelation, by none other than feminist scholar Elizabeth Fiorenza. I didn't even know this existed, didn't know she wrote a book on Revelation, but look at how thin that book is. There's the dust cover. Normal book, Doubleday image book. Invitation to the Book of Revelation, a commentary. And not only does this have the commentary in it, but it also has the text in the Jerusalem Bible. So this particular edition is a commentary set on the Jerusalem Bible, and you get section headings, for instance. Let me see here. On this, you get a section heading, the text, and then there's more text, and then commentary. It starts right there. And it is meaty commentary. In fact, I read through this last month, study questions. And one of the things I would propose that if you need to read at least one book on Revelation, and you don't have time to read a big, thick commentary, pick this one up. It is a great translation. A great interpretation, great commentary. It hits all the marks. There are a couple things that I disagreed with it, but nothing unusual. I picked it up for 50 cents at the used bookstore. Why do you need thick books on the Bible when a book this size will do? One, because a lot of new books have very extemporaneous illustrations that are just unnecessary. Two, I think publishers want the biggest bang for their buck. For instance, here is a new copy of 1984 that my wife picked up at the bookstore, not the used bookstore, but the regular bookstore, and it was $16. So the bigger the book, the more you can charge. Two things about the size of old books. One, you get them smaller. They're easy to read when you're trying to sleep in the bed. And frankly, what you have to say is not that important. So saying what needs to be said and leaving all the extemporaneous stuff out is actually good. And another thing, that leads to our next thing of why we like old books, and that is because they are well written. Here's a book I picked up of the history of the medieval church, 590 to 1500. As you can see, it's very old. Notice again the size. I can hold it open. Woo! I can hold it open with one hand while I'm reading at the beach, all right, or in other places in my home. It's not a backbreaker. But one of the things I found about this is that it lives up to what my history professor said, once said is a requirement of history, not only of being accurate history, but also being a history that is well written. So history not only should be accurate, it should be well written. And one of the things about these older books versus the newer books is that I find that the writing is terse, it is shorter, the books are smaller, but the sentences are so well written that reading it in and of itself is an art in reading and a real joy. So this is the one I'm currently reading right now. As you can see, I have a little bookmark there. Picked this up at the bookstore for all of $1, but I think the books were like half off, so I think I got this for 50 cents. If you take the dust cover off here, oh, by the way, dust covers, another important asset of buying an old used book Work is intended to fill the need of a readable, accurate, and moderate-sized volume dealing with the medieval period of church history, to which I say thank you so much for doing that. Okay? So, size, the depth, and the beauty and artistry of writing. I think when people wrote before, like computers, when people just had to handwrite longhand and write on a typewriter, the words came differently. They used different parts of their brains, and I think it gives to beautiful writing. It is hard to find good writing in modern contemporary literature. And then another reason, the last reason that I like old used books is because they have personality. Now, if I'm going to get this book right here, which is new, okay, and read it, I am afraid to break this in. I mean, I don't even want to crack the spine because, one, when I read it, it's going to be a big book and my hand is going to get tired, especially since I read in bed or, laying down or maybe on the floor. If my kids are on the floor, I can lay down. But look how big this thing is, all right? But two, it has no personality, okay? It's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. I like old used books because look at this personality. You have the dog ears here. You have some bends here. It tells me a used book that has personality tells me more stories than just what's included within the book itself. It tells me that this book was well used, well loved. This Penguin Shorter Atlas of the Bible, I picked up one because, again, good writing, short. Notice again the size. It's a Penguin book, so you know it's going to be very well done. And it's just well written. Has these pictures, black and white. And I think it's really neat. So it goes through the different, and the book falls apart too. Look at that. Isn't that great? It goes through the various stages of the Bible. Here's some color maps. There you go, right in the middle. And then it goes back to the black and white. Okay, you have the patriarchs, the Assyrians. It goes through each stage of the Bible, which is interesting. And I read the stuff for fun. If it's well written, it has personality, and it's not going to take months for me to read, I will read it. This one is a bit heavier than the other ones, but again, personality, size, readability, beauty of the writing, depth, it all has it. Look at this. Look at that price. USA $4.95. I picked it up at the used bookstore for $1. Okay, you see that $1. But I think, again, I got it for 50 cents. And this one is published in 1959. So it's probably a little dated, but it came out after the Dead Sea Scroll discovery. So I trust it's going to be a little more modern than pre-Dead Sea Scroll stuff. Let's see, the Dead Sea Scrolls were found in 1948. The Scrolls of Nag Hammadi, which included the Gospel of Thomas, was found in 1952. So anyhow, why do you like used old books? They sure beat the new ones, especially in writing, size, and in many cases, depth and brevity. So thank you for watching. I'll talk to you later.